One thing we're starting to see right now is the liability of just being in a relationship. I know right now, they just had a dude, Dante Murray, that's in the NBA. He was just stating how he felt violated because he found out, I guess, through social media and online that his baby mom, or should I say this girlfriend that he got a baby with, was that in the club, partying it up, shaking that ass. I think a lot of times when we see the younger, they see the older guys going through what they go through, like what they're going through, and they look at them like, yo, probably not me. I won't go through the same thing. The girl I'm with, she make me feel good. She talk all the things that I like to hear. She ain't gonna do me dirty like that. It's sad because when you look at the history of just even sports players going through what they're going through, you look at, Anthony Edwards. You looking at John T. Murray going through what he going through. You looking at all type of players going through what they going through. In my era, seen Gilbert Arenas going through with his baby mom. He was a deadbeat. He wasn't nowhere near a deadbeat. But you understand that the world we live in today, women are such a liability. And I know a lot of times as a guy, we might not want to look at that and say that. We might not want to look at a situation or relationship we in and say that the person we with is not a liability. It seems like the people that are not liabilities are the ones that actually can look out by handling stuff that they should handle. When I say handle, I'm talking about if we both in this household. Why is it that we built off of old rules? I gotta be realistic. Not gonna sit up there and play around. I live alone now, going through a divorce. I can talk because I'm a person that is married, going through a divorce. I'm not officially divorced yet, but I can speak from being in a relationship where I paid everything. I'm gonna tell you something. They're setting men up to lose, and I'm gonna tell you how. All this whole thing of pay everything, she can't say anything, she can't open her mouth up because I'm paying everything. I'm going to tell you right now, man, that miss me with that. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't. If you make a kid feel comfortable because you buy a kid that toy all the time, or you buy that kid everything that he wants, all because he's good, what do that kid get when he's bad? Nothing. Okay. Nothing. What is your wife going to get if you don't give her what she wants? Do you think she's like the kid? She gets nothing? No. That's because she's about to file for divorce. And what's going to happen in divorce is all of a sudden you become manipulative or narcissistic. They don't know the word that they just ran into the damn dirt. Narcissistic. I'm tired of saying the word. He was controlling. I couldn't do anything. Couldn't do anything means he had responsibilities to take care of. And he knew that what you was going to do was run through his money, through his bread. And you will have nothing to show for it. This is the reason why a lot of men have waken up. Not all, but a lot. A lot of men have woken up and realized that we can't do that same thing no more. That same train, it's not the same train we jumping on no more. We going over to the other tracks. Going on the train that goes the other direction. The one that says, yo, I choose peace and silence. We ain't doing that no more because this is when you know there's a problem. When you see a female that's actually making money, it don't do nothing for the household. Nothing. Nothing. And I see this even in my family. Their money don't do nothing. They could be making way more money, triple the money that you make. It does nothing for the household. You know why? Because it's all for self. It's all for the new Range Rover they want to buy. It's all for the new lashes, the new wig. Oh, girl, I'm taking my trip. I'm doing me. My man don't add up. He don't make as much as me. I feel like I want better. Ain't that funny? Make more money, you need better. You should live above that. But remember, your 6 figures don't mean 6 figures no more. You know why? Your 6 figures done got taken down to damn near making 30,000 or 40,000. Why? Because you don't want to all do that bread. But your man now is not equivalent to a good man now because he don't make more than what you make. This is why you're starting to see a lot of fellas fall short on life and realize that they're in the wrong game. When they look at the game of, I want to make sure she comfortable, I want to make sure she's safe. This is one of the things that a lot of young boys go through. When they make money, like for instance, when you look at an NBA player, you'll say to yourself, how dumb can they be? But it's not how dumb they can be. I've been out here. And I remember times when I was out and about a lot. And when all my dudes, you know what I mean, we was all outside and we all had our nice cars. We all had luxury cars, expensive cars, over 60-something grand. And that was when I was like 22, 21, 22. We always driving nice cars, BMWs, Lexus. One of my boys had the new Tahoe hybrid, had the Avalanche. My other boy had the CL. We all had luxury. I had the 750 BM. And I can tell you, the things we do when we're young, we become dumb and stagnated to the point we thinking that the people we messing with really like us, really love us. That's because they love what we doing for them. But I'm going to tell you what started the shift. When you start living out here like that, running the streets and you playing the game, how we was playing, we going out to different clubs. I had a lot of Jones. You start to now be conditioned to see women for what they are. I'm being real with y'all. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I would not bullshit you. I'm going to tell you this right now. Women are not who you think they are. They are very sneaky, very conniving, but they also can be loyal to a certain point. When I say to a certain point, if they really feeling you, they really got love for you like that, they can't live or breathe without you. They feel like that at the time until that starts to wear off. To the point where you're not doing the things that they want you to do at the time that they want you to do it. Like for instance, I had this one Joan that I was messing with. Man, shorty was fun. Not only that, we was having fun. But then all of a sudden one day, I get a phone call. You're gonna get that phone call. The phone call said, "Hey, I'm going to do a rough time right now." They always going through a rough time, always. If you tap into something, they're going to do a rough time. I don't know what it is. Such a liability. Such. And I'm going to tell you why. Don't listen to these ignorant dudes that say, well, if you sleeping with her, you should be paying for it. Shut up. These are dudes that they never ever had a real relationship. They don't even know what it's like for a female to have their back. These are the same dudes that once they going down, they lose everything along with it. Trust and believe. So she hit me up and she asked, like, she didn't even ask. She just gave a story. You know how the story go. And I remember like it happened yesterday. She was like, yo, she was like, she ain't have enough money for something. So I was like, wait a minute, hold on, it makes sense. I knew that the story didn't make sense. You know how I know? I knew because I knew that the apartment she was in, there's no way she could pay for that. You know how I know that? She ain't never went to work. So I knew if you put 2 and 2 together, you'll realize that she's on assistance. This is why she's able to stay in the apartment that she was in. And I'm like, come on, I ain't dumb. I read between the lines. I know if I pop up or not pop up, I hit her up, I'm able to scoop her up and we go out and whatnot. We always have fun. Nice Joan though, pretty. But she had a daughter. And I really didn't know her daughter like that. I just remember seeing her. I didn't really care too much. But make a long story short, when she asked me, when she was stating that she was running through some rough times. And I said, well, okay, rough. All right, well, what's up? And she's like, well, I'm like, short. I thought she was going to say like maybe 100, 200. Make a long story short, she ended up saying, well, whatever you can give me. That's when she effed up. I said, whatever I can give you. So when I said whatever I can give you, I said, well, what if it's $10 I can give you? She started laughing. She's like, yo, she said, I really need like 500. How much? How much? 500. 500. So Instead of me just let it go, normally I would have hung the phone up. I said, hold on, 500. I said, how you just come up out of nowhere and say you need $500 just on the strength? Like, what kind of John call a boy up and say, yo, I need 500? Unless they look at, like, she started looking at me as the easy lick. Or she like, well, since I've been sleeping with him for a little minute, and we've been going out, and you know what I mean, and she looking at what I have, she like, yo, I can get 500 out of him. So I straight said, I said, yo, where you going at? Where you going at Friday? Because you need it by Friday morning. So I knew right away. I said, yo, you going to Powerhouse? She got quiet. I said, yo, keep it real with me. I said, I know Powerhouse. It's a thing in Philly. That's a concert that normally happens. And it's a thing called Powerhouse. At that time, we used to go all the time. They still have it, but I'm older now. I ain't into the mumble rap. I'm just like, that's how I sound. But I'm sitting there, so I was like, I see you going to Powerhouse? And she was like, she did a laugh. And she said, she's like, what if I am? I said, so that's all you had to say. I said, don't lie to me and be like, yo, I'm in a crunch, like you in a real crunch. I said, but actuality, she wanted that 500 for the concert. This bum, didn't have no bread, no money, on assistance, living off assistance. And she going to hit me up for 500 to pay for her going out to the Powerhouse. That's basically what that was. I can read between the lines. Come on, man. But I tell you, we got enough Jones you dealing with. You understand the characteristics of females. I understand it. I know the lies. I can tell even if they're a good liar, because a good lie still has to make sense. So when she said that, I was like, oh, okay. All right. So what I did was I came through, what was that? It was on a Thursday. It was on a Thursday night, and I came through and I buttered them buns. Yes, I did. Yes, because I knew it was my last. See that? Yes. I knew it was my last. I came through, and you might say, damn, you came through with the bread. No, I didn't. I came through, slid through, threw her back into the wall, dog. And I'm going to tell you, she gave me, that was a fun night. You know why? Because she was doing it for a reason. She was doing it for a cause, and she was thankful for that 500. So she thought, until after the fact. And all of a sudden I realized I forgot to bring the money when I left it on my counter. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And you know what happened? She called me early that morning and said, yo, what time you coming? Because I'm out of here like around like 4 o'clock. I didn't pick up. She hit me again. She ain't never called me that much. It just goes to show you, when that money get low, everybody acting like a hoe. And then next thing you know, I got that other phone call, that third phone call. That's when her anger. I ain't never seen her angry before. That's when I got a chance to see her angry. Yes, I did. And then I got a fourth phone call. She called me every name in the book. And what you think happened next after the fourth phone call? Fifth one never came. The fifth one never came. But a long text message came. Lose her number. I'm sorry. You already know. It's the same story. As a guy, when you out here and you can't see yourself with that female, you only know that she's there for just playtime. Use it and utilize it as playtime. But when you get to a point where you start to look like a sucker or become a sucker because they thinking you're an easy lick, the same thing I'm getting out of you, you're getting out of me too. Only difference is we were going out, we were having fun, we were complimenting each other by having fun. We was having fun. But it comes that time where they think that it's a threshold of, guess what? I can ask for this amount of money. What gives you the audacity to ask a man for money? For what? What are you in need for? That's not a need. A concert? These are the problems that a lot of men are facing today. And they have a lot of dudes out here scratching their head or losing their cool, especially these young bulls. These young bulls out here losing their mind. They actually offer their girlfriends because they feel as though they got played. You ain't get played. What happened is no one taught you that certain things you do and certain things you don't do. And the first thing you do in life is put yourself on the platform and that pedestal to be able to make yourself feel comfortable and have your stuff operating efficiently. Like have your own apartment, your own house. But don't let nobody on the outside, just because it's a female, to use you and utilize you just for capital gain. Whereas though in the world we live in today, we got the older generation telling the young bulls, yo, you need to make sure that girl good and take care of her. No. We all out here working. Miss me with that. We are not in those days. You look right now. We are in the days now where we're seeing people getting taken advantage of. And what happened? You're talking about food dates. She done played you, my man. She played you. As the late, great Patrice O'Neal was saying. Matter of fact, I ain't gonna need to tell you what he used to say. Look him up, Patrice O'Neal. You'll get a chance to understand his mindset and understand how a lot of us men think. But a lot of you young boys today are being raised by moms. I was once that. We crash dummies. Until we wake up and realize that we ain't crash dummies no more. Then we realize, yo, I ain't playing a game like that no more. This game don't make sense. Be safe, y'all. And stop being taken advantage of. All right? That's all I'm going to say. Stop being taken advantage of and hold your own. All right? And stop allowing the female that you with to become a liability. Once she becomes a liability, she becomes a setback for you. All right? Safe. Like and subscribe. If you watch this whole video, goddamn it, you better like and subscribe.